Chapter 145 of Yusuke Murata's One Punch Man manga is finally out, and I follow him on Twitter. He's been overworking himself like absolutely crazy on this chapter, and I hope he's doing okay because I think he just said something along the lines of like he passed out at his desk. He's been trying to draw 7-8 panels a day, which is a ton, and I just wish the best for him because he's really killing himself to make this content for us. So the battle between the S-rank heroes and the monster cadre continues. Unfortunately, we don't see vomited ugly Furher in this chapter. He was just kind of skipped over. I'm wondering if Murata took it out or he'll come back in the next chapter, but this one is going to be Evil Natural Water primarily as he is fighting Atomic Samurai and Iaian. Now, as he's shooting the jet streams out, which are so strong they can basically pierce just about anything, Atomic Samurai seems to be slicing up the water, which does nothing, and Evil Natural Water appears to have no weak points for Atomic Samurai, who's really falling down the ranks. I mean, we saw him get smashed by Black S, and now he can't really do anything against Evil Natural Water either, and considering how he's rank 4 and Silverfang is rank 3, and Silverfang came in and just completely destroyed both Gums and Ugly Furher by himself, I think Atomic Samurai's losing a little bit of credit here. Also important to note that Evil Natural Water is basically like drawing up water from, I guess, beneath the ground, and so he's getting bigger and stronger, and his jet streams are getting more powerful. So Iaian wonders, like, what happens if this thing like fuses with the ocean? And maybe that's why it was locked up, as we saw a few chapters ago during the redraw. It was locked up in this big fish tank, and maybe that's because it's so dangerous that if it touches the ocean, it'll basically take up and fuse with the entire ocean on planet Earth and just pretty much be unstoppable at that point. And that very well could happen at some point in this arc. Also in the redraw, we saw it shoot out one of the jet beams, and it pierced a hole through Iaian's sword. This time he's trying to deflect the beams, and it just vaporizes his whole sword, now shooting out those jet streams directly at Iaian. It looks like he is about to die, but he gets saved by our big bodybuilding boy, Darkshine. Now, I thought this was very unique. It does not happen in the webcomic, and Darkshine is moving up the ranks here. His body is so tanky and nearly invincible. I mean, he's basically like Saitama level indestructible, that he tanks these jet beams which can pierce through metal, and it does nothing to him. He even mocks it, saying it's like a shower to him, and it's pretty funny. I mean, you gotta hand it to Darkshine here. He lost to Garo and he was humiliated, and he helped on the Orochi fight. He's now really stepping up as an S-rank hero, gaining a lot of clout and credibility as being one of the more powerful fighters. Even some of the same comedy as Saitama, saying this is perfect. I always like a nice shower after a workout. So Evil Natural Water is being countered by Darkshine. It seems like every monster cadre is a perfect counter to at least one of the S-rank heroes, but then there's also another S-rank hero that's a perfect counter to one of the cadre, and that's pretty much what we're seeing here. Darkshine, just insane detail and art from Murata, obviously, is basically the perfect counter to Evil Natural Water, who cannot hurt him. So maybe if he does fuse with the ocean or whatever, he'll get strong enough that he can hurt Darkshine. Who knows if we'll get to that point. Darkshine continues to just deflect all these beams by flexing, and it's hilarious. He's doing all these poses and everything. He's just straight up flexing on Evil Natural Water and taking no damage from his hardened, well-trained muscles. And this continues on for quite a bit. He just puts his arms up kind of like in a boxing stance or whatever, just blocking all of the jet streams. And Evil Natural Water keeps trying, but Darkshine now is going to go on the offensive, and this blew my mind. He punches Evil Natural Water, and it looks like he just one-shots him. So I doubt Evil Natural Water is dead, but it looks like Darkshine just straight up one-shot Evil Natural Water. I'm sure that water will reaccumulate somewhere on the ground and he'll form back out, because as Atomic Samurai said, it seemed like he was pretty much indestructible. Even his eyes were made of water. But that should be the end of him for now, at least for this chapter. So now we're going to move on to Black S, who is arguably the strongest of the monster cadre. So Black S's powers is that he can multiply himself to like the millions, and he can also grow like super large limbs and everything like that. And that's why whenever he was fighting Atomic Samurai before, every time Atomic Samurai sliced him up, every little piece would create a new Black S. He's fighting against Silverfang, who is carrying Tank Top Master's ragged body, and Genos, who is carrying Tatsumaki. And these clones throw out all these kicks and punches. Unfortunately, it hits Genos. Silverfang is able to deflect them using his martial arts, and this sends Genos flying towards a rock. That's when Atomic Samurai is going to come out of nowhere and slice up the rock so that Genos doesn't crash into it and take fatal damage. But first, Black S and all of his clones, this is just straight up out of Naruto, man. They're just jumping in on Silver Fang, who is so strong right now. It just seems like they buffed the heck out of him in this manga. Uses his Fist of Flowing Water crushed rock and deflects every single attack and every single clone. Meanwhile, the Atomic Samurai slice up that rock so that Genos doesn't take a lot of damage. We know that Genos is, if he takes any blows, he could explode and die at this point, but he's putting himself on the line. He said, I'm not going to just sit idly by while I can still fight. Atomic Samurai wants his rematch with Black S. We saw he lost in their first battle, and he's telling Genos and Silver Fang to get out of there, he'll hold on. So he's come up with a new tactic in order to fight Black S. He knows if he ever slices him in half, he's going to multiply, so he comes up with a new theory on how he can fight back, and this is pretty interesting. So Black S calls him Moronic Samurai, and this time he slices him up like a fan or something like this. Like that looks like slices of bologna. And so in doing this, he's preventing Black S from splitting up and multiplying because he's kind of keeping his body like partially intact, but he's completely neutralizing him. So interesting moves here from Atomic Samurai, who says, if I don't chop you up, you won't multiply immediately, yeah? I can just beat you to death, right? So now he's using like the brunt of his sword, like the back end of it, to just beat the living crap out of these Black S's, and that way he can actually fight back. So nice moves from Atomic Samurai. However, unfortunately, he can't hold off all of the clones because there's like almost an infinite number of them. I think in the webcomic, it goes into like the billions or trillions even, and as Genos and Silver Fang are running away, they're kind of like deflecting and blocking all these clones as they're sprinting away. Tatsumaki wakes up and paralyzes all of the clones that are attacking them. So again, Tatsumaki keeps pushing herself way past her limits, and she's like almost on the verge of death, almost out of power, but she keeps mustering out just a little bit more, and this time she's gonna stay there and fight. Actually, I think she's telling Genos to just keep going and keep running away. Silver Fang gives Tank Talk Master over to Genos, and he's gonna stay back and help Tatsumaki, and also in comes Darkshine, who it seems like he destroyed Evil Natural Water at this point. He comes and he just takes out a whole bunch of clones with one single punch. So we get to the final page here. Unfortunately, there's only 21 pages here to this manga, and it appears here that Black S is starting to combine. So per the webcomic, per the spoiler warning, if you guys don't want to be spoiled, all the Black S clones will eventually combine into one, creating this just massive, brutal beast. And we could very well get Darkshine versus this big, tanky Black S, and you're going to have like two juggernauts fighting against each other, which will be very, very interesting. But eventually, Black S will turn into Golden S, and he's like super strong. So it wasn't the most exciting chapter yet. I think Murata is really burnt out at this point. It seems like he's pushing himself way too hard. We'll probably get Darkshine versus Black S in the next chapter, and then we should get Psychos coming in to fight against Blizzard Fubuki very soon after that, before Garo will eventually come out. I could see Garo coming probably in the next 3-4 chapters. It really depends how long the battle between Psychos and Fubuki will go on. That could be like I think it was 2 webcomic chapters. So that could even be like 2 or 3 chapters here in Yusuke Murata's version of the manga. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys soon for another video.